We are 1 minute past the hour, so why don't we jump in? So appreciate everybody joining. We've got quite a few topics that we're gonna go through here. Many of you know Ricoh as a printing and copier company, but we have a lot of different solutions, and the ones that we're going to be focusing on today is the marketing services portfolio, as well as the MarcomCentral distributed marketing platform. I'm Mike Gable. I'm going to be going through the MarcomCentral portion. Then we've got Anna Graham as part of she's the manager of the Ricoh Marketing Services. She'll be going over the marketing services portfolio. And then Brian Jackson, he's our solutions engineer, will be taking you through a live demo of the platform. So that is the agenda. And once again, thank you for joining. So what is a distributed marketing platform? Well, let's take a look at that. What does that mean? It's a lot of words there. So it's essentially a combination of digital asset management, as well as marketing asset management and distribution of content. So what MarcomCentral ultimately is a web-based portal that enables marketing teams to create the content, push that content into the portal, and now you have anyone from around the world that you want access to this content now is able to get that approved content. So whether it's agents or salespeople or locations, marketers, channel partners, all different kinds of content that you create, from direct mail to brochures to email content to logos, all of these things can be stored in the portal. And then once again, the access that you provide to those people that need it are governed by the guardrails that you put into the portal. Then the distribution part of it is the ability to allow your users either to download it or directly send it out via email from the portal, or maybe it goes into a print queue with one of your print vendors. So that is the distribution part. So we'll get into that when Brian shows you the demo later on in this webinar. So what is it that we do? So as far as what the portal is able to do, we solve for a lot of different things. One, of course, it's the centralized marketing assets. It's regulatory compliance. So think of all the content that you may have with disclaimers on it. How do you manage that and ensure all the people that are using those marketing assets, how do you ensure that the content that they have is up to date and within compliance? How do you manage your brand control? How do you keep people from creating their own content and going off brand? MarcomCentral has that ability to be able to manage all that, push out content either through what we call static assets or customizable templates, which we will get into as well. Some of the other things that we hear a lot from our customers is, how do you manage those one-off requests? How do we eliminate those? Well, MarcomCentral enables you to do that through those customizable templates. How do you track content that's being used? What are some of the challenges you have there? Knowing what people are using and what's not working or what's not being used at all. So we have a very powerful business intelligence and analytics built into the platform as well. And then, of course, user-based permissions, the ability to display content based on a particular user or group. And so these are a lot of the things that we solve for just out of the gate. There's a lot of different workflows that we can also tie into, which we'll talk about a little bit later as well. So who do we serve? Who are the companies and the vertical markets that utilize MarcomCentral? We serve quite a few: financial, insurance, healthcare, manufacturing, franchise, and retail are just a few of them. And so what are we solving for in each one of these? Well, some of them are similar. Some overlap across these markets. Others are a little bit different. So think of manufacturing. If you're a manufacturer, you need to be able to support your distribution network. Well, how do you do that? How do you ensure that your distributors are selling your product? How do you enable your distributors and support them with the content that they need to be able to sell your product? What's that mechanism that you use today? MarcomCentral could potentially be that mechanism. We work with many manufacturers to help support their distribution network. Insurance, and financial, think regulatory compliance and regulatory requirements. In many cases, on a state-by-state basis, each in the insurance industry for sure, legal and regulatory compliance is different from state to state. So how do you ensure that your agents are getting the content that they need that is pertinent to the state that they are working in? So being able to manage the legal disclosures and assets by state and by agent is one thing that we do very, very well for the insurance vertical. And it's similar within the financial. Now we jump over to franchise and retail, a little bit different. How, if you're a franchise and you're corporate marketing, how do you support the independently owned and operated retailers? Do you give them the ability to customize and brand their marketing materials for their specific locations? Our tool gives you the ability to do that, to support those franchisees, to help them develop within the community, to build their business throughout their region. So these are some of the markets that we serve. These are the highlighted ones. We could talk about some other ones. We do work with higher ed as well, but these are the ones that we've highlighted for this webinar today. I've already talked about some of these use cases here, but specifically Mutual of Omaha has been using our tool for many, many years to brand the content by location, ensure that the agents are getting the content that they need for their state, and it's transparent to the sales agent. Texas Roadhouse, probably many of you have gone into one of these locations. You walk in and you see all their signage, their table tents. They may have themed events. 4th of July is coming up here, so they might have signage depicting the 4th of July celebration, or Memorial Day for that matter. So the Texas Roadhouse Marketing Headquarters creates the content, pushes it out into the portal, and now those store managers, store owners have the ability to customize signage and content in real time. And then Delta Vacations, co-branding. So Delta Vacations sells vacation packages through travel agencies. So the travel agencies get to co-brand those packages with the travel agency's logo and the Delta Vacations logo. And then we have Dunkin' Donuts. Think of all the different locations that Dunkin' Donuts has. How do you get the content into all those different locations in a mechanized and easy manner? Well, MarcomCentral. Dunkin' Donuts is another one that's been using Marcom for many, many, many years. These are some of the integrations I always get asked. So who do you connect with? How do you work within our marketing tech stack? Well, these are just a handful of the companies that we work with as far as integrations and partnering. This can be very powerful to help streamline workflow. So the core tenet, so MarcomCentral in a nutshell is, let's centralize the content. So centralize those digital assets, those marketing assets. Let's control those assets and build guardrails around them. Then give the ability for those users that have access to the Marcom portal to customize through those templates, displaying content based on the user's needs, and building those guardrails around the content that you create. And then the distribution, the multi-channel distribution. So the social, being able to push content to social media in an approved environment. Credit card processing, we do have an e-commerce capability built into the tool. We have automated back-end workflows for in-house print production. The ability to just download the asset and use it in real time. So the tool, the MarcomCentral platform, has a lot of flexibility, a lot of scalability, especially with all of our integrations. I'm going to pause there and I'm going to pass it on over to Anna.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Mike. So we're going to switch gears for a second before we jump into the demonstration of MarcomCentral. And I want to just provide a brief introduction to myself, the Ricoh Marketing Services Group, and then we'll talk about a few of the type of solutions that we support for Ricoh customers and MarcomCentral customers. And then we'll kind of close the loop and talk about how all of this impacts a MarcomCentral or a typical marketing lifecycle. So first off, my name is Anna Graham. I'm the manager of the Marketing Services Group. We are an organization within Ricoh that's designed to take customers on a more strategic, more integrated approach to how they approach their marketing operations. That typically involves moving isolated solutions to something that's more connected, more impactful through these 5 core verticals, right? So we support collaboration and distribution, solutions and services, campaign, omni-channel marketing campaign management, marketing analytics attribution, audience personalization and engagement, and creative design. All of that to say a lot of work that feeds into the overarching marketing services lifecycle. Today, we're going to take you through 3 areas that we see a lot of MarcomCentral customers looking for support to showcase why some of these values are so important and ensure that you guys are looking at the tools in your environments that can support some of these needs. So we'll start by talking about collaboration and distribution. In 2024, there was a significant effort made across all industries in terms of streamlining timelines, compliances, and being able to move projects much faster. And that didn't happen by increased workforce. We actually ended up having to support more of these timeframe initiatives with less staff. The reason why these were accomplished so effectively was by removing waste inside of schedules. It was not people working faster, drawing faster. It was removing the process steps between those powerful manual actions to allow us to accomplish that type of work. An estimated $1 trillion a year are lost due to a lack of coordination of those gaps. They're incredibly time consuming, incredibly costly in your workflow. One of the things that Ricoh supports is effective project management software to allow you to be able to eliminate those bottlenecks. I want you all to think about, if you're an existing MarcomCentral customer, if you already own maybe an asset management solution today and are looking for something maybe to allow you to be more effective like MarcomCentral. All of that work starts with the development of a creative piece, right? The initiation. Somebody has to contact marketing to request that piece. The marketing department needs to plan the steps that are involved to create that piece, schedule the resources that are needed, ensure that those resources collaborate with each other, and then ensure that the metrics around all of this work are constantly being analyzed, because just because it's effective today does not necessarily mean that the workflow is going to be as effective as it could be in 2 years, 3 years down the road. So we always want to be constantly reporting and managing. This is a tool on the left-hand side called RoboHead. As Mike mentioned, this is one of the tools that are integrated with MarcomCentral. So we can actually look at that beginning phase from the time that somebody actually ideates, I want a piece available on MarcomCentral, to the time that it's hosted and ready. We can have a nice, seamless, collaborative workflow involved. Now, on the flip side, I want to talk to you guys about what type of products can be incorporated in MarcomCentral and where Ricoh could potentially offer some support in developing those assets. The first one is our video production services. I'm sure if you guys are looking or interested in MarcomCentral, you probably have a good sense of what's needed for print production, right? That's the creation of maybe digital or print content. But did you know you could also host video files inside of MarcomCentral? Ricoh actually has a full scope of video production capabilities where we tailor training videos, promotional videos, sizzle reels, and more specifically for organizations like yourself. We offer quick, reliant services that can be accomplished as a one-off or through ongoing support. These services include copywriting, video production, full post-production, and typically end with a deliverable of an MP4 file. Like I mentioned, we do training and educational type videos, promotional, and we also do videos for specialty usage, such as for augmented reality and virtual reality, which we will be talking about a bit more in a second. Today, I wanted to showcase a really fantastic example. I'm not going to, we won't spend too much time on this video. I just want to show you guys a short snippet of it. But this is one of a part of a series of videos that we accomplished on behalf of Philadelphia Public Schools, who were launching their new print and marketing center, and were looking for attendance in an open house event within their local community. So Ricoh Marketing Services produced a series of promotional content to allow Philadelphia Public Schools to be able to share their message out.
So we're really excited that you guys come out and check out the new renovations that we've done here at the Print Service.
So very short clip, but just to showcase promotional content type videos. Now I want to switch gears into a second and probably the more exciting of some of our assets that we create within Ricoh. And this one is around augmented reality. Augmented reality is the creation of an illusion that a virtual object is in the same place as your real or physical objects. So when we talk about creating AR, what we're talking about is creating something that you can view through a view screen. So for today, that's going to be your phone's camera view. It will combine real and virtual in your real world environment. And then it's meant to be interactive and something that you accomplish in real time. Why are we talking to you about augmented reality? Well, whether you use it for training, design, sales, support, AR enhances the ability to understand something by incorporating a visual and interactive content in a real-time environment. We can take passive experiences into active ones, make communications clearer, make collaboration easier, and hopefully outcomes stronger. We don't see this as just a novelty application. It's something that you can use strategically to deliver measurable impact. 4 of the ways that this is so powerful. Number 1, AR is immersive. AR actually takes your brain on a neurological level, brings you in to hold your attention in a more meaningful and impactful way than traditional video channels. It appeals to a much broader audience, especially targeting some of the younger under 30 age group, which is unequivocally the future decision makers of our organizations. It educates, it delivers content and information in a way more interactive and visually appealing way. And it can enhance that post-sales sales experience. So delivering new content and information while those products are already being used and consumed in real time. So with that, I want to take you through a few different ways that AR can be deployed on behalf of your customers. This first way is called image recognition, right? This is where we can actually read a piece of visual content and then provide access to links and information. So you probably saw in that video demonstration, I'll play this one more time. We were actually able to view through a mobile website that image right there. And once it viewed it, it pulled up some interactive content right there on my screen. So that's simple image recognition, augmented reality. Let's take that a step further. This is a concept called world tracking. This is where I can actually drop an asset in my real world environment. The asset that I just dropped is called an AR hologram, and this is actually a 2D video, right? It's just a standard MP4 video run through background removal using AI. And it looks like that person is standing there in your real world environment, but you can see in the background, there's actually nobody standing there. And if you guys scan that QR code located in the lower left-hand corner of your screen, you can actually activate that hologram yourself in your own environments. The next one that we're going to look at is a 360-degree portal. And again, you can scan the QR code to try yourself. So in this one, you'll notice that we're actually dropping down a door, and you can actually walk through that doorway and it will take you into a virtual reality experience. So now you can see as I move my phone around, I've been transported into a customer service center inside New York, and I can look around and see my environment there. The last one is the Pokemon Go style of augmented reality. This is where we're going to take a 3D model and drop it into our real world environment. And of course, I work for Ricoh, and we do a lot with production devices. So I dropped a production device there. You can see I'm moving it around, making it bigger, smaller, and I can see it right there in my real world. So those were 4 different ways that we can incorporate augmented reality. At this point, we've kind of seen a full end-to-end life cycle through services supported by Ricoh, right? So we had, at the beginning end, we have that project management, the asset management, the collaboration distribution aspect. Moving into MarcomCentral, that is where you centralize, customize, distribute your assets. And of course, those assets could be print materials, digital content, video, or even stuff enhanced by augmented reality. So at this point, I am going to switch gears. I'm going to turn my screen share off and turn it to Brian Jackson, who's going to show you how to order some of those materials that I just provided you inside of MarcomCentral.
Excellent. So is everyone able to see my screen? Yeah. So what we have here is an example of a fictitious healthcare company that we have called Seaside Health. And there's a couple important things to remember. Any portal can be customized in any fashion that you see fit. Extremely customizable, and no matter what you decide to do, your work is going to be 100% responsive, right? So no matter who is viewing it on whatever device, they will be able to access it and carry out their work without missing a beat, right? So to kind of give you an example, in the MarcomCentral portal of the AR that Anna was just talking about, we're going to go ahead and go to our brochures category. Now, once that pops up, and of course it seems to be having a little bit of a delay, but what we'll see within that category is a series of templates. These are both static and customizable. The little pencil denotes the ability to be able to customize, right? Whereas the static assets can be downloaded or directly added to your cart. On the left-hand side of your user-facing portal, you'll notice that we have several filtration facets here. So, if I've got several assets, but I'm looking for Spanish language ones, I can navigate to those very quickly. And again, these are optional and completely customizable by you, which leads me to another segue. You get unlimited users within this portal. And using user permissions, you can control who has access to what, who can view what, and how people actually are even able to interact with the templates. So let's go ahead and look at our hospital virtual tour flyer. And this particular flyer is going to utilize some of the AR that Anna was just referring to. So here on the left, we've got the name, a description, and pricing. And again, you can set up your pricing, lead times, quantities, inventory levels, coupons, et cetera, as you see fit. There's a great deal of customization that we offer to your users through this portal. Now here, we've just taken a simple PDF and we've made certain parts of it versionable. For instance, by selecting a location from a simple drop-down list here, I'm going to change the address. I'm going to add a logo that's customized with the location, and I'm going to change the certain QR code that is outputted here. Let's go ahead and see that in action. So I have simply chosen the location Aberdeen. I could have many other fields here where I allow users to input by hand the address, city, state, zip, et cetera, but in this case, we're just tying it back to a simple spreadsheet. That spreadsheet can be attached to many templates, and therefore, you only have to make one change. So if your Aberdeen location changes phone numbers, simply adjust the spreadsheet, and all of your templates, all of your assets are updated automatically. We had a question earlier about banks. We have several banks that do this with disclaimers. They can change disclaimers on products very quickly just using a simple spreadsheet. But let's go ahead and turn our attention back to this. I have chosen the Aberdeen location. Notice that it has updated the website, the address, the phone number. It's also created a customized logo for me and updated the QR code. If I change it to Astoria, and preview, you'll notice that those same fields now also change to reflect my new address selection. And on this one, as soon as it loads, I'll go ahead and zoom in and give you a chance to look at the QR code in action, pull up your phone, and, experience the AR for yourself. Here we are. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom in. And this is very handy because this works very well on a mobile device as well. So notice there's my Astoria location, my customized Astoria logo. And if you want, I'll give you a few seconds here to go ahead and try that QR code on your own. With that said, I like how I have customized this. I'm happy with the result. I'm happy with the preview. So I'm going to go ahead and hit done. Now I have a few distribution options available to me. I can share this out via email. I also can set up and enable the use of sharing out to social media platforms like Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. I can set up download options, and I can have many, many download options that include impositions, high res, low res, etc. And I can add to cart with just a simple minimum and maximum setup. Notice it's going to round up the price for me, etc. And we can get more into that at a future date. Right now, we just wanted to show you how we're able to customize a template and include that AR experience for your users. And with that said, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing and return that to our team.
Great. Thank you, Brian and Anna. Great information, great demo. I hope everybody was able to get something out of this. We will be following up with email information. And if there's any questions or you'd like to explore MarcomCentral or any of the solutions that we have shown you today, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. We can do customized demos, discuss any of your internal challenges that you may have, and see what kind of solutions that we can come up with.
At
From all
this
of us-
point, if you want
Go
to put
ahead.
if you want to put your questions in the chat or in the Q&A section, we're happy to answer them. I think we have maybe one or two in here, Robert, if you want to read those out loud.
Yeah, sorry, let me go ahead and get myself off mute there. So yeah, we did have one additional question, and this is for existing Marcom customers, and it's if they're already using MarcomCentral, can they go ahead and leverage some additional services and solutions within Ricoh Marketing Services?
Yeah, absolutely. They can contact their CSM, who has full access to the Ricoh Marketing Services library. That's great. Thanks, Robert.
My pleasure.
I don't see any more questions, so I think we're good to close it. We appreciate the time, everybody. Thank you all.